Hell yes, I'm hyped to be finally covering one of my favorite movies released in the 2010s, and one that wasn't just a huge box office success, but one which would go on to become a massive franchise with, of course, a lot of sequels. And you know we're going to have to cover all those ones eventually. But for now, let's get started with the very first and best one of the series. In 2022, America is run by the new founding fathers, who created an annual 12-hour event called the Purge, where all crime, including murder, is legal. The idea is that by letting citizens vent their rage once a year, crime and unemployment stay low the rest of the time. Security system salesman James Sandin lives in an upscale gated community with his wife Mary, teenage daughter Zoe, and young son Charlie. As Purge night begins, James activates their high-tech lockdown system, planning for a quiet evening inside as usual. While Charlie drives his weird-ass RC car around the house, he notices on the cameras a wounded man outside begging for help, and against his father's wishes, he disables the security system to the house and lets the man inside. When James and Mary go to see what's going on, Zoe's boyfriend Henry, who had snuck into the house earlier and was already angry with James for not allowing him to date his daughter, ambushes him with his IJ-70.
James, he has a gun! Henry has a gun!
But James is able to shoot him back with his Taurus Raging Bull. A little bit later, we find out the gunshot wound killed Henry, as James finds his lifeless body in Zoe's room. While Mary goes to help look for Zoe, Charlie notices on the house cameras a group of strangers walking towards the front door of the home, all of them wearing face masks and heavily armed with various weapons and firearms. When they get to the front door, the leader of the group removes his mask, greeting the Sandins, and explains why they've shown up to their home. After giving the Sandins an ultimatum to return the escaped man to them,
if you don't deliver him by the aforementioned time, we'll release the beast on him and on you.
The leader of the group can be seen walking away, holding his Mossberg 500 Mariner cruiser, the same one which we can see him armed with throughout the rest of the film. While the family decides what to do about the man in the house, we get some of the first images of the Purgers lurking around outside, taunting the family. In one corner we can see one of the girls in the nightgown, pretending to cut her throat with her machete, and in the other corner we can see one of the guys walking around with an axe over his shoulder. After deciding to give the man up to the people outside, James and Mary can be seen walking through the dark empty hallways of the mansion, James again armed with his Taurus Raging Bull, and Mary armed with a Ruger KP95. As Charlie watches the security cameras, he begins to get more and more paranoid as the Purgers outside keep on taunting the family through the cameras. Two of the girls can be seen making out while holding their machetes. Nice. And behind them, one of the male Purgers appears to be armed with an M16A2 as his main weapon, as well as what appears to be a bottle of Jack Daniels for his sidearm. After pushing one of the girls on the swing outside, another male Purger looks directly at the camera while pretending to pull the trigger on his Desert Eagle Mark 19. Right after that, the other male Purger from before with the axe over his shoulder points directly at the front door camera, his Smith & Wesson 915. After sufficiently sending his heart rate through the roof watching the screens, Charlie then uses his I don't even know what the fuck RC car to try and find Dante before his parents can. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but we find out later in the series that the man in the house here, his name is Dante Bishop. After successfully leading him to his hiding spot, Mary, still armed with her Ruger KP95, almost finds him but gets distracted by something else at the last second. James is still wandering the halls of the mansion with his Raging Bull when the leader of the Purgers calls him to the front door. After asking him about the situation with Dante,
Tell me, why haven't you delivered the filthy swine to me yet?
one of the Purgers becomes frustrated and screams at Mr. Sandin to just
Give us the homeless pig, you fuck!
That little outburst, however, is the kind of behavior the leader does not condone, and ends the Purger's life by putting a bullet in his head with his Beretta 92FS Inox. He then gives Mr. Sandin a little motivation before sending him back off to find Dante.
Just keep in mind, Mr. Sandin, he was my friend, and you are not.
As James goes back to looking for Dante, Zoe pops up on Charlie's camera and tells him that she's going to his secret spot. As James enters his room, he finds Dante, now armed with Henry's IJ-70, holding Zoe at gunpoint. As James argues with him to let Zoe go, Mary sneaks up behind him, still armed with the Ruger KP95. Zoe gets knocked unconscious, but James is able to knock out Dante with a vase during the struggle. As James and Mary frantically try to tape up Dante to send him outside, they begin to question the things they've done tonight and the people they're becoming.
James, look at you. What the hell happened to us, James?
After Charlie runs away and Mary chases after him, she sees the Purgers' provisions have finally arrived to break into the mansion. After giving Charlie his Raging Bull, he tells him to go hide in the basement and tells Mary they're not sending Dante out, but instead they're going to defend the house and kids. They then can be seen loading up multiple guns before they get interrupted by the Purge leader outside, who, again armed with his Mossberg 500 Mariner cruiser, tells them,
You failed! You failed to deliver the homeless swine!
After which the trucks back up and effectively rip the metal plates off the doors and windows of the bottom floor, allowing them to finally get inside the home. As one of the Purgers walks up and looks through the window, he can be seen armed with a Dimaco C7 LSW, and James, who is hiding behind one of the corners, can now be seen armed with a Kimber Warrior. Mary, who's on the other side of the house and is hiding behind one of the chairs, can be seen still holding her Ruger KP95, but is now also armed with a Taurus PT92 AFS. Meanwhile, Dante, who is still tied up, is able to knock over the chair and get the letter opener, allowing him to cut off the duct tape. Shortly after, one of the Purgers breaks through one of the windows and begins wildly firing off his MP5K throughout the house. While Charlie is hiding out in the basement, one of the Purgers sneaks in and jump scares him, dragging him across the floor before he tries to execute him with his Desert Eagle Mark 19. Pretty sure this is a different guy than who was using it before, but I guess they have the same gun. Right before he can kill Charlie though, James shows up and saves him by shooting the Purger with his Kimber Warrior. After making sure Charlie is safe, James can be seen wandering the halls armed with the coolest gun used in this film, his Mossberg 590 chainsaw, which he can be seen using to kill multiple Purgers. First he runs into the guy with the M16A2, who he picks off no problem. Then he runs into one of the other girls and guys in the pool room and gets into a pretty big struggle with them. However, James is able to take out the nightgown girl, shooting her in the chest off the pool table. And then after strong-arming the other guy, he smashes his head through the glass of the pinball machine. Basically, immediately after that, one of the other Purgers can be seen jumping through the window and tackling James to the ground. He then tries to shoot him with his Glock 19, but James is able to dodge it. As the man tries to crawl for the shotgun, James grabs the axe the girl was using and slams it into the guy's back. I think James must have watched Zombieland recently too, because he seems to make use of Columbus's double tap rule. Right after taking out the Purgers, as James is walking out of the room, the leader pops up from around the corner, stabbing him in the gut with a massive Bowie knife. Meanwhile, the other Purgers can be seen destroying the home as they run through it. As Charlie watches the security cameras again, he sees the neighbors appear to be coming to their rescue as they shoot two of the Purgers outside by the trucks. A little bit later, as Mary continues to walk through the house, she can now be seen armed with a Sig Sauer P226. Soon after that, she gets jumped by two of the Purgers, and just as the woman is about to execute Mary, she is fortunately saved by some of the neighbors who shoot the Purgers, one armed with the Beretta 92 FS, and the other armed with a Taurus PT945. After Mary gets up, she then finds a wounded James by the stairs, and as she and Charlie try to help him, the leader of the group pops up around the corner, once again armed with his Mossberg Mariner cruiser. But before he can get a shot off, Zoe shows back up and shoots him with the SIG P226. As James dies in the arms of the family, the neighbors show back up, and Mary thanks them for saving them, but unfortunately for them, Claire lets them know the only reason they did save them was because
you're ours, not theirs.
The neighbors plan to kill the rest of the family by stabbing them to death, and for the dumbest reason.
You made so much money off of us, and then you just stuck it in our faces.
Like, you guys did not need to buy their security systems. You could have bought them from someone else. I don't get that. Anyways, but before they can, Dante shows back up, killing one of the neighbors with the Smith & Wesson 915, and holding the rest at gunpoint, saving the Sandins. Dante then gives Mary the call if she wants him to kill the rest of the neighbors, but instead of getting immediate revenge, Mary decides to wait the rest of the night out in peace. Shortly after, we can see everyone sitting around the dinner table, waiting for the sirens to blast as the kids mourn their father's death. The second Claire gets a chance to try and grab the Ithaca 37 shotgun with an extended mag tube from Mary, she does. But luckily, Mary grants what was probably the entire audience's wishes at this point, and takes the shotgun and smashes her in the face with the buttstock, breaking her nose. Right after, the sirens that announce the Purge's end blare, and Mary tells them all to leave. As Dante leaves, she asks if he will be okay, and thanks him for saving her family. He tells her good luck, and as he walks away from the mansion, he gives one last look back at Charlie. As the credits roll, news stations talk about how this was the most successful Purge yet. Well, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. If you guys like this kind of content and you just want a little extra, maybe go check out our Patreon. It's just $1 a month, and we post the exact same videos, same narration, but the ones on Patreon include extra things like behind the scenes footage, deleted scenes, or just more clips from the movie we're covering, as I can't always get away with certain ones here on YouTube. Link to that's in the video's description. But yep, that's going to do it for this one. Let me know if I missed anything or got anything wrong in the comments, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.